Okay, so I'm just gonna get right into it. This is like a real life kind of sort of lesson that I went through. This is like regarding, just like the title, how sex ed saved me from being a teen mother. It saved me from, I want to say, like a lot of things, but how am I gonna start this? Okay, I had sex ed, oddly enough, for 3 years being in school. And that to me is still kind of crazy. Like, for someone to learn so much about sexual education while going to school, I think I learned more about sexual education going to school than any other subject, because I had it for 3 years and because it was so interesting, you know, like it really, it was like, wow, because you're young and sex is something that you're, you know, I want to say I was in 7th grade. It was from 7th, 8th, and 9th grade that I had sexual education. So it was like interesting to me, because those are those years where you're interested in that kind of stuff and you're like kind of, you know, becoming a, you know, getting your hormones and all of that, and you want to know about it. So it was like, wow, like I'm gonna learn about this. And it was kind of funny, like all the kids that, you know, when the teachers told us like, oh, we're gonna be having sexual education, you know, this is for science. But I think the reason why, jumping back, the reason why I had sexual education going to school 3 times was because I remember hearing them say they were doing like a sort of like an experiment in school to see what's the appropriate age to do it, and to see if like the parents would approve of it. And so I don't think they do it in 7th grade anymore. I remember our class was the last class that they I remember we were 7th graders, so I remember that 7th grade year was the last year that they did sexual education for 7th grade. Now they do it in 8th grade. I don't know about now, but I know they started to do it in 8th grade. But so they tested it on us little 7th graders, which totally, you know, that experience, that overall sexual education experience, like totally blew my mind. Like it totally changed my perspective on, you know, I think it worked, you know, it totally changed my perspective on sex and all that type of stuff. So I was kind of like, I remember being back trying to remember, you know, what I could remember when I was in 7th grade was I was kind of like, oh my god, like I'm gonna learn about this stuff. Like I really do want to learn about it. Like I wasn't immature to think like, oh, I'm gonna see sex or stuff like that, because I know a lot of the girls and the boys were like, ooh, you know, like I was just really interested in it. So learning about like the insides and the scientific part of it, that's what I was interested in. And so I remember I told my mom, and she was like, cool, you know. My mom's like kind of like cool, you know, she's not like a, you know, like a boring kind of mom or like a strict kind of mother. She was like, cool, you know, I'll sign it. So she signed the waiver, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna learn about this shit. And for the other kids and like the boys in my class are like, ooh, we're gonna see pussy, like, you know. But I was like, ew, you guys are stupid, like you guys are so dumb, like ugh. But anyways, that's the way it was. But so I remember when we started, they started, you know, talking about, you know, the genitals and the male genitals and showing us pictures, and it just got really, like, they got really into, you know, sexual diseases and you know, all the sexual diseases that they have, that you could, you know, get, and how you could get them, and, you know, talking about like transmitting like bodily fluids and stuff like that. And it was just like I remember just like, oh my god, like I remember being in when I was in 7th grade in my science class, I wasn't very social with a lot of people in my class. None of my friends were really there. Like, I knew people and they knew me, but I wasn't like the type of person like to talk in class. So I remember just being to myself and just absorbing all this information, like literally, like, wow, like I did not know about this stuff. Like, this is crazy. Then, like, you know, I think they kind of just skimmed the top of it. Like, this is how you could get it. Like, they kind of did it like in it wasn't like so long of a class, you know what I mean? I think they only did, I can't remember how long they did it. I think it was like a week or less than a week or something like that. Then we went back to regular science. But then they did show us like some gory pictures of like genitals, women's and men's genitals with actual sexual diseases, and I was just like freaked out. Like, I was like, oh my god, like that's so disgusting. And like it really burned a hole in my brain. Like, it really, like, it's stuck there. Like, for being, you know, for being somebody that's so young, seeing that stuff, it really burned a hole in my brain. Like, it's there forever. Those pictures that they showed me are in my brain, burned in my brain. Like, disgusting. It was disgusting, but it was just like, I remember telling myself, like, I'm so scared to have sex now. Like, I'm scared. Like, I you know, being in 7th grade, like, I remember, you know, I was like not thinking about it, but you know, I mean, come on, you think about it, like, you know what I mean? But I was like, you wanted to try it, you know, you wanted to be like, what's the word? You wanted to be, what's the word? I can't think about it right now. You wanted to be kind of promiscuous, that's the word, because you're feeling your body, you know what I mean? You're getting older, you're a teen, you like boys, so you want to be promiscuous and you want to like try this stuff. So, you know, I'm like, okay, maybe I could get some kind of information. Boy, did they give me some information. So I'm like, okay, 7th grade sexual education literally scared me. Like, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna try this. Like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm scared. So 7th grade, I was up on game. Like, don't get near me or I'm gonna get chlamydia or something. Like, I was literally like ugh, like, don't touch me or anything like that. That's the way that's what it did to me. Like, I don't know why, you know, it did that to me. I was like, ew, get away from me. Boys have cooties. Nah, I'm just kidding. But I was just like, don't get too near me because I might like you and I might want to be promiscuous with you, and it's not gonna happen because I'm scared now. So then 8th grade came and I was getting like more into boys, and then well, like more into boys meaning like I wanted, like, I really like was like, okay, you know, like I was a big flirt, but I knew in my head for sure that I was not gonna do anything. Like, I was a flirt, but I knew for a fact that I was not gonna get any further than flirting, because I didn't want to, because I was scared that something was gonna go further. So 8th grade came. I had a lot of, you know, I guess a lot of not a lot, but, you know, boys that I spoke to and flirted with. And so 8th grade comes and we hear that we're gonna have sex ed again, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, okay, whatever, this is like, I already know, you know, like I already know what it's gonna be about, what we're gonna learn about. Okay, since I guess we're 8th graders, they're like, okay, we're gonna give them a little bit more information, we're gonna get more into it. And how more can you get into it? Oh, believe me, there's a lot more. Okay, had sexual education 7th grade, now 8th grade, and now I'm really fucking scared. Like, I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, no. Like, I'm not gonna let you near me. Like, I don't want a wiener anywhere near me. Like, I got really, if I was scared before, like, I'm really scared now. This is 8th grade. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, okay, for sure, like, I don't know, maybe I think I would feel more comfortable maybe when I'm a little bit older to have sex, maybe when I'm a little bit, like, you know, more of a woman, because I felt like I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that kind of, like, scary commitment, because it really did scare me, like, all the sexual diseases that they showed me and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm in 9th grade now, and I'm like, okay, I'm a big flirt. I became pretty much like a pro at being a tease. Like, I was a big tease because I knew that it was not going to go any further than that. Like, I'm still in 9th grade. I'm still like, I'm not going to go any further than what I don't want to, what I don't feel comfortable with. So come 9th grade, dun dun dun, here we go again. I'm having sexual education for another motherfucking year. 3 years in a motherfucking row. Like, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, I'm like over here, like, practically like boasting about, like, I already know what I need to know. Like, I don't want to, like, I really didn't want to I didn't really want to have it for another year. And they're like, oh, well, you have to pass your class, it's part of the class, and you know, you're gonna learn a lot of useful things. And I'm like, hey, like, I've had this for 7th grade. And when I told one of my teachers, like, I've had it for 7th and 8th grade, he was like, oh my god, like, really? Like, I can't believe that you've had it for so many years. And I'm like, believe me, I know what I need to know, and I'm not having sex. And then like, okay, well, that's good, but you still need to take the class. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why? I'm so scared already. And this time, if I wasn't scared before, this time was really scary, because they showed us, like, about childbirth and, like, a woman having a baby, like, the baby coming out of her vagina and stuff like that. Oh my Lord Jesus, if I was not scared before, like, you guys don't even know. I was like, I do not want that happening to my vagina. Like, I don't want that, my vagina opening up, spreading, or fucking baby coming out of it. Like, that's so disgusting. Like, I think that that's what they try to do in that class, is like, they try to, like, show you the reality. And reality really hit me when I was like, this is like real life. Like, that's real life people, like a real life woman squeezing a big ass head through her vagina and it bleeding and all that. I was like, no, like, no. So if I wasn't mindset in the 7th grade and I wasn't mindset in the 8th grade, I was totally mindset. Like, my mind was set. Like, I just didn't want that for myself. I didn't want to be pregnant because it looked scary. I didn't want a sexual disease because it was scary, and it just really fucking scared me. And for other kids, maybe, like, sorry, I'm sitting down on the floor. I never really, like, asked anybody else if it was like that for them, but it was just like a really scary experience. And I think that it really did save me, because I could have maybe been a teen mother, because I was like already feeling like wanting to be promiscuous. Like I was already feeling like that sexual sort of desire, like, and I was really like not really thinking about it, but I was like, you know, like like I kind of feel promiscuous. And you know, I see other, I think also too I felt that way because I had like a lot of older friends, a lot of older girlfriends that I used to kick it with, and they would be talking about it. And I think I had already kissed a boy before 7th grade. Yeah, I had already kissed a boy before 7th grade. And so like I was like, okay, I already kissed a boy, you know, like I already kind of sort of felt that vibe. I think I kind of want to do it. But then I was like, after these classes that I took at school, it totally fucking scared me. So I think that it really did work. I think this little plan or this scheme that these teachers kind of, you know, kind of thought up about showing kids, you know, sex ed and stuff like that, you know, I think it really did. And especially because I was younger, I was in 7th grade, so it kind of caught me like at the peak. Like it kind of caught you before you even thought about it. Like, let me show you what's gonna happen if you have sex with somebody, unprotected sex or anything like that. Like it just like it really just like stopped me. Like, oh my god, like that's scary. It really did scare me. So yeah, and I didn't actually start having sex until I was later on, till I was already graduated, you know. Was I graduated? I know it was not until I was probably like started like in 12th grade. But yeah, even though it was still a little bit, you know, I kind of like dived into it still being scared. I was very cautious. Like it wasn't multiple people, it was one person. And you know what I mean? It's just like, you have to be careful, you have to be smart about what you do, because there is sexual diseases out there that you will get if you have multiple partners. So that's why I always made sure it was just one person, and you know, that one person, you know, I ended up having a kid with, but you know, I was with him for a while. So you know what I mean? You still, like, you have to be careful. But I really think that, you know, for younger kids that may come across this video, I hope, you know, it's like hard. You don't want a young person to watch a video saying, you know, like sex and stuff like that, but it's like they have to know about it. Like, you can't hide it from them, you know. There's a certain age, but some kids might be a little bit smarter than others, and you may save them from being promiscuous later. Sex is it's a powerful thing, and you have to be ready for it. Like, you have to be ready for the consequences, the emotional investment in it. It's very emotional. You invest yourself emotionally a lot, and it really does take a toll on you if you don't know, if you just do it all whatever, like, let me sleep with this person, let me sleep with that person, let me be with that person. Like, it's not as simple as you think. Just, I guess the lesson I want to say is just really take your time, be smart, don't be stupid, don't let somebody use you, and really remember that you're letting somebody else's soul enter your soul. Do you know that person well enough to let him enter into your soul? Do you? Like, really think about it. Do you like that person's energy or that person, do you really know that person to let his soul and his being intertwine with yours? That emotional, whatever type of emotional stuff he has going on, it's gonna go on you, and it's gonna take over you emotionally. Just be prepared and be smart. That's all I gotta say, is just be smart and be prepared. So that's my story, and that's my little lesson. I hope you guys like it, and I'll see you next time. Love you guys. Bye.